All right, athletes, here we go with some pain knowledge bombs, okay? Anytime I'm dealing with pain, what we have to understand is what we call the transition gap. So it's not just taking some TheraBands, doing some shoulder exercise, and then I can go back to throwing my fastball at 90 miles an hour, right? It's not just doing some glute activation things with my hips and some light bands, and then going back and thinking I can run as fast as I can with a sprint exercise. That's not how the progression model works, right? So anytime I start seeing athletes that have recurring chronic injuries, it's because they haven't closed the transition gap between, hey, I'm done with therapy or I'm ready to return to sport, and I'm also the world's best wrestler. Hey dude, there's a huge transition gap between moving 10-pound dumbbells and picking up somebody your own size and finishing shots, right? How do we start to work through this transition gap, and what are the key secrets to that is what I'm about to explain. Okay. Anytime I'm getting injured, guys, we have to reevaluate our training protocol, okay? I cannot just work through pain. Pain will turn on muscles differently than a normal performance exercise will, okay? So if I want to do bench press, but I have shoulder pain, I'm going to start to recruit all kinds of different muscles around my shoulder and compensate, which in return is going to actually hinder my performance on the mat, in the gymnastics room, on the football field, whatever, because I don't know how to properly turn on and use the right muscles. So don't just force yourself to work through pain. That whole theory, that whole construct, that myth is long gone, guys. Like, that is old tradition of trying to train through pain, right? Obviously, we're gonna have discomfort. When I'm going through and I'm doing a rehab process, there's gonna be some ups and downs along the way, but make sure that my pain is trending in the right direction. What I mean by that is increased function, decreased pain. If I have those two things going on, I can keep pushing as hard as I want to, as long as function improves and pain goes down at the same time. I cannot just have function improve and pain stay the same. That's not okay. I have to start seeing pain go down as I'm trying to get my function back up, okay? The second part of this, understanding the transition gap. Again, you have to be able to break down your sport. If I'm wrestling, I have to be able to pick up somebody my own body weight and drive through my shots and work through. So instead of just saying, hey, you know what? I was doing some great hinges, I'm running faster, everything feels good when I do that. Understand the demands of your sport and start to progressively stress yourself into those positions. So if I know I gotta be able to drive up a shot out of here with somebody my own size, I'm gonna take and start working towards my body weight and reverse lunges right here, being able to drive, get my hips in. Right now I know I've got the back control, I know I've got the hip control to support the demand that I need to get back to for my sport. Say it's a shoulder injury, right? We sit here in rehab all the time and work on external rotation, we work on internal rotation, we work on mobility drills. That's great, but you're going back to the baseball field where you have thousands of miles per hour of velocity coming through your shoulder and your tissues aren't ready for it, right? How do I progressively start getting back to that level of explosiveness? How do I get the strength to even be able to absorb that eccentric demand that's about to come on my follow through, my throw, right? That is the next level. That's the transition gap that you have to close. It's not just being able to throw a Nerf football back and forth. It's not just being able to spike a volleyball into the ground and start getting some of the control. I have to get back to 90-mile-an-hour fastball, right? That's not taught in rehab. So make sure you guys are doing exercises to close the transition gap back to the demand of the sport that you need to perform at. Okay, I could go on and on about this rehab process of closing the transition gap, but I'm gonna let you guys reach out if you guys need any help. Again, it's totally different for everybody out there. Your shoulder injury is not the same as another athlete's shoulder injury. Your elbow injury is not the same as another athlete's. Your knee injury is not the same as another athlete's. So don't compare and contrast to the friends around you, the people that have went through the injury. It might be an ACL and it might be an ACL, but it's totally different experiences. Your confidence may be way different. Their strength may be way different, right? Your fear of movement may be way different than their fear of movement. All of that stuff contributes to the rehab protocol. So if you are a high-level athlete, I will give you my time, a free session, to show you the difference between the transition gap model and traditional rehab approaches, okay? Download the guide, click it, download, schedule a call with me, whatever you gotta do, and I will show you the difference between the next level performance, closing that transition gap, and the traditional rehab model. All right, guys, see you on the inside. Let me know if you have questions. Peace.